What's up?
So, I've had an interesting few years, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because my life has completely changed, and people ask me questions all the time. Where'd you meet this person? Where'd you meet that person? Specifically one person. So instead of just kind of talking about it myself, I decided to ask my friend who kind of brought me into this new way of living if he'd talk with me about it. So we're here with my boy Ramsey over here, who made me get into YouTube, literally made me. It's not even a joke. So let's just get into it right now. Peace. Let's just go. So about a year and a half ago, I was FaceTiming with Ramsey, and for about the 47th million time, he told me to start doing YouTube. And I sat there and made excuses. I made excuse after excuse. I have a company, I can't do this shit. All this stuff.
I heard it all.
I heard it all. It's true. But I made a promise to him. I did, I swore. I said, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it 100%. And I said, I'm not doing it unless I could do it 100%. So I sat back and I let myself roll into thousands of dollars in debt. And I was literally about to quit doing magic. And Ramsey said, again, start doing YouTube. I guess I have to ask you, why did you push me so hard, actually?
First of all, like, I think there's enough YouTube to go around for everybody. I think that's the misconception in this industry versus the magic industry, where there's competition in the magic industry. There's competition in many industries, but in YouTube specifically, there is no competition, because if you do good, the rest of the creators do good. That attracts more people to the platform, and then we all sort of succeed. So there is, I mean, that aspect of it. And then on the other hand, you're a really good friend of mine, you have talent, you have a lot of theory and a lot of thoughts on magic that I think would be really interesting. And it's always fun to have people to bounce off of on the same platform, and YouTube can be a lonely place when you're by yourself. So yeah. I thought, who better to initiate to this crazy world than this guy?
Yeah, I just remember all the FaceTimes at 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's me waking your ass up.
Literally waking me up. You ever woke up to a bearded German? I did, for about 6 months straight. Every morning. Hey, what are you doing right now? Hey, what are you doing right now? It's pretty scary.
I would call him like literally every day, and still do sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Just to wake him up. This guy falls asleep at the randomest hours, so. You know, but that's one thing about YouTube too, is like, it takes a certain type of person. Not everybody can. I've talked to many people about YouTube and tried to get them to join the platform and to do things on it, knowing deep down within me that they're not going to succeed. And not because they're not gifted or talented or have, you know, stuff to share. It takes a lot to do YouTube, and I know that sounds like somebody who's complaining about what they do, and which I'm not, but it does take constant passion and drive. And if you do not have that, you fall off. And if you fall off too long, you become irrelevant on a platform. Just like it's just one of those things. So you have to be steady with it. So for me, you know, I know that to get you in, I had to be on your ass, and I still am. And I think that anybody looking to make a living or to just even, you know, shake things up on YouTube, you have to be consistent. Consistency is key, obviously quality and everything else, but consistency is more important than anything else. And to maintain that consistency, you have to be passionate. And if you're not passionate, if YouTube, like for me personally, I think, you know, magic is, you know, my main passion, but YouTube has taken over that passion in a certain way. Like I am 100% more passionate about YouTube, not because of subscribers or likes or, you know, the money or anything else, but more so because I'm a fan of photography, videography, and storytelling. And I think that it's a great conduit to tell stories, especially in magic. And, you know, it goes hand in hand. So it's not about...
It's getting there for me. Like I remember I wanted to start YouTube. I think one of the main problems was fear, right? I was just scared. I was scared to do it. I didn't know where it would go. I didn't know what I would do. But I think for me what it was not so much the passion behind photography, which I've actually grown one. I've actually grown a passion for photography now, because I enjoy being able to show somebody something in a way they haven't seen before, which I never thought about before. I always just looked at it like, oh, this guy's getting into photography, taking dope photos, I get it. But now I get it. Now I really get it. I didn't get it before, but I really get it now. YouTube has literally become, I want to do magic and I love doing magic. And now instead of just trying to create, because I have a company, you know, I have a company. That's a different side of it. You know, instead of just trying to hustle out a trick every month and try to get people for their money, I can literally hang out with my friends and show people what I do and show people who I love. And that becomes so much greater for me than what I was doing before. I thought with the company I would be able to do that, and I couldn't.
Yeah, YouTube is a great way to share your craft, your niche, or whatever it is that you want to do. And I think the platform is the most honest and the most transparent and authentic platform that exists on social media. I still do today. It was actually rated recently, which was interesting. I read an article that YouTube is the biggest positive social media platform. Second was, I think dead last was Instagram, surprisingly. And then like Facebook was third, and second was like Twitter or something. But first was YouTube. YouTube is the most, and by a long shot, is the most positive source of information regarding social media. And I still think that's true today, because I think because there's a downvote button or a dislike button, because there's comments, and because all that ties together, that if you're not true to what you're saying, or if you're not projecting authenticity, then I think people can smell that from a mile away and call you out on it, and I think rightfully so. Yeah. So YouTube is one of those places where you have to be you, and you have to be honest, you have to be authentic. And if that means sometimes having a shit day and talking to them about it, or if sometimes that means not being perfect, whether it's with the slights you do or with how you present your video.
Which I'm always perfect.
Yeah, and I think that that's important. I think that that's one of the reasons why YouTube has so much success, and one of the reasons why YouTubers find success is because of that factor of authenticity that the other platforms don't provide.
I don't know, I just found it as a freedom. I found it as a freedom, an escape from the traditional magic community that...
Yeah, definitely.
You know exactly where I'm going with this, you know, where it's just this constant bickering, this constant anger, this constant search to be better than somebody else, and it's not about that with YouTube. It's just something more. I found so much
community.
Yeah, I found so much freedom. And like, I did a video not too long ago, and in the beginning of the video, I have depression, and I talked about it very briefly. And I started getting tons of messages from people saying, thank you for being so brave, and thank you for sharing this moment. And for me, it wasn't even that. It wasn't about sharing that moment. I was just telling them what I was going through. People latched onto it, and they appreciate it, and I'm glad they appreciated it. I didn't see myself as that. I don't see myself as this big hero, this great person or whatever. I just love doing this. I love being able to make videos and call friends over and say, hey, let's do something, and spend time with them and make some videos and have fun. I don't know, it's become more of a way to have fun than it has a way to make content.
I think it's important as well to let your audience know that if you guys are feeling like, hey, I want to start my own channel on YouTube, I want to try this crazy thing out that everybody's doing, I think go for it. I think one of the things that you have to keep in mind, first of all, is don't do something because someone else is doing it. Do not copy someone else's whatever it is. Just do yourself. And the best way to do that is to become a fan of the platform, become a fan of YouTube. And that's something I always tell you too. Go subscribe to creators that have nothing to do with what you're interested in, whether it's cooking or building stuff. And just become a fan of the platform and get notifications, watch videos. It'll give you so much insight into what it is how it is that people create, but also what it is that people look for in videos.
Well, actually, I have on my TV, I don't watch television, I watch YouTube.
Yeah, I hear that.
I don't watch any television. I literally push the YouTube button and I watch things about gaming and things like that. I watch all of it, and I just I literally enjoy the platform. I really do. I don't necessarily engage as much as some other people, but I do enjoy the platform. I do literally love YouTube.
I mean, you have to. If you're, again, it's like you all watching are probably like, yo, I'm gonna start my channel tomorrow. That's cool, and I hope it works. But the tough reality is that it's getting harder and harder to succeed on this platform. And if you wanna make it, you have to be dedicated. And if you're not, then you'll be around for a month or two. That's the reality of it, and you're probably gonna drop off because you're gonna be looking at the numbers and saying to yourself, well, this isn't gonna work, it's just not for me. And which might be right, but if you're willing to put the time in, effort, and grind it out,
I remember
it can work.
I remember you showing me this post-it note, 100,000 subscribers in a year.
Yeah, I put that on my computer. I put that on I had it on my Mac, my iMac, a post-it note to 100K, and it was just like, because I saw one of those, Jim Carrey talked about that once, where I think it was Jim Carrey, where he taped like $1 million check to like a ceiling, right? And when he got Ace Ventura, that's what they gave him. And he was like staring at that every night. And it was just kind of like one of those things where he like projected it out into the universe and whatever, and it'll happen. It's kind of one of those things. It just reminded me of my goal. And I did that for the $1 million too, which, you know, hopefully will happen. And
even if you die tomorrow, you hit $1 million. Let's be real. Let's be real.
We get more subs if I die. It'd be hell of a caption.
You want to make it happen?
I'm dead.
You want to make it happen?
Caps. Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I'm glad you came on the platform. And also, there's one other thing is that I did a lot of tutorials on my channel, taught a lot of like the basic stuff, even some original stuff, which I was really proud of. But eventually, like I mentioned in my video, I'm done churning out content in terms of tutorials because I felt like I was just putting them out for the sake of getting views. And it was not something I was really comfortable doing, especially with Magic. If it was cooking, I wouldn't really give a shit, to be honest. But because Magic has ethics and creators and everything else, like the more I put out content, the more likely I am to put out something that somebody else has already done and that type of thing. So I kind of stepped back because I've offered what it is I had to offer in terms of teaching Magic, not in terms of like performing and everything else. I still have thoughts on that, and maybe I'll still have a thought on teaching Magic eventually, but I'm glad that someone like you can pick up the reins and be like, hey, I've got stuff to teach that you've not taught and that I'm good at, or I've got thoughts on Magic.
Yeah,
and it really,
I feel
it
like
alleviates some of the pressure of that YouTube burden that I've held for a while. So.
But I feel like I'm in a weird position because I still do lectures at conventions and things and such. And now I feel myself talking about social media and Magic. Like one of the things I talk about, I ask a question. And I ask, why is YouTube bad? It's the question I ask. Not only do I ask that, but I also ask, why is selling Magic okay?
Right.
Right? And what I find is that a lot of people don't really have an answer to anything. They're just angry because other people are angry. And they jump on board with a lot of other things.
Yeah, there's a million reasons why,
Yeah.
but
but this is just what I found.
But here's also the great part about that is that like that's becoming less and less, and a lot of people,
Much so, yeah.
A lot of people who did fight the YouTube wave are now on board with it because they're seeing how you're doing things, how I've done things, and I think it sort of inspires them to be like, oh, this platform is not all bad, and which is great.
But not only that, like I bring up college performers. If you ever decide you want to do college shows and you want to get into NACA and all that other stuff in the US, one of the things you need is you need a sizzle reel and you need social media. You need a promo video and you need to be on social media. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You know, the last lecture I did, I literally asked how many people are workers, how many people perform, and none of them raised their hand. They're just these people who are angry that people are exposing stuff on YouTube. And the only difference between exposure and okay is a penny. You know, like if I sell it, it's okay, but if I give it away, it's the worst thing in the world. I was talking with Eric Jones, and he didn't believe me. And I said, I tell you what, Murphy's Magic will give you 5 free tricks if you sign up for their email list. And that's okay.
Well, so it's funny because I was talking to Ian today. I did a video called reacting to Magic commercials, and which was very funny because there was a lot of commercials in the early century. I don't know, it was like the 20s or 50s, or there was like Harry Blackstone and Harry Blackstone Jr. who were in the television, you know, public television commercials, were giving away 15 tricks if you bought either Harry Blackstone Jr. was selling like a shoe product, and Harry Blackstone was selling cereal.
Cereal?
He was selling, yeah. He was selling,
my God.
You buy a cereal, inside the cereal there's magic tricks.
Right, and here's the thing. Link to the video. It's Harry Blackstone. If you buy the cereal, you get 15 of my magic tricks for free. Become like Harry Blackstone. And I was like, and it said free tricks on the box. Huge clickbait. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then I look at the tricks he's teaching, and like one of the tricks is the water bottle where you flip it upside down and you throw a toothpick in there and it floats up. Yeah. And this is like, and then Harry Blackstone Jr. also gave that away. And that was like a giveaway. That was a giveaway trick. You know, also sold a Penguin for $39.95. But if you want it for free, buy a box of tricks.
And you know what's interesting? Actually, somebody linked me to a video of Skarny teaching tricks on on a TV show.
Yeah. So the thing is,
Skarny.
Like, I think, like you said, I think the anger is misplaced. I think there is frustration because I'm not going to get into why I think magicians are frustrated about people teaching tricks, because we can go on forever. But I think in a nutshell, there is always going to be exposure. There's always going to be tricks being taught. I think there's a way of doing that properly. And I think YouTube is a great venue because YouTube is the only place where you grab people's attention longer than 30 seconds and you can sit them down in front of their own computer in their home and talk to them like a human being. Now, if I were to explain everything I'm talking about right now with Spade on a Facebook video, I would need 2 bars, right? Something like magician fucks up or something, right? Fucks up with a bomb, right? Or some magician pranks elderly woman who pisses herself, or some crazy like caption, and for you to stop for at least 30 seconds and then turn on the sound. I need to tell you to turn on the sound. And then, you know, so YouTube is the, no, but it's true. It's true because you're scrolling, right? So YouTube is a place where it's not a scrolling platform like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook where you're scrolling while you're taking a shit. You have to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes of your day to watch a full video. So a lot of times that's why people get notifications and they're like, I'm gonna watch this when I get home. And they sit down and they put their headphones on and they tune in just like a TV show for 10 minutes and give you their, for the most part, other than ad breaks, which you should probably put one in right now. Other than ad breaks, they will give you their undivided attention. And that's just not anything any other platform could offer. And so it's the best platform to explain your thoughts on magic and to talk about things that are deeper than just, you know, giving away stuff. Yeah,
well, I mean, listen, we could talk about this forever.
Sure, yeah. I have a whole channel based on it, so if you're interested.
Me too. Hopefully you're staying here. But anyway, I mean, if you don't know who he is, I'll link to that below. I mean, it's almost everybody that's on my channel is here because of your channel anyway, which is funny.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's fine with me, yeah. I don't care. But anyway.
If you know better, you're already watching this video.
Word. Yeah. There you go. But anyway, I just wanted to do this because I always thank you. I always talk about you when people ask how did I get into this. I always talk about how you brought me in and how you forced me and you held me down and tied me up.
That's what she said. Let's get back to talking about YouTube.
Yeah, but it's changed my life 100%. I remember literally.
But you know what? It's also changed a lot of people's lives. The fact that you're on here, and the fact that I was really proud of you when you talked about like your depression and everything else. I think that's something people need to realize too. Is that, you know, just because you're a creator, just because you're happy and yo guys, what's up? What's going on? Bop, 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 you know, this type of stuff doesn't mean you're not dealing with your own shit.
Yeah,
we're all people. Yeah. So it was great to see you talk about that on a video, because I think even if that video doesn't do well, there's some kid out there that's thinking like, man, I fucking feel like that too.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people.
It's, you know, it's a great platform for that.
Yeah, but you know, I know if it wasn't for you pushing me as hard as you did, I wouldn't have done this. I literally wouldn't. I remember literally crying online with you because things changed 100% overnight. And if it wasn't for you pushing me as hard as you did, I probably would never do this.
Put your money where your mouth is, man. Let's see the check.
And I promise you, I did make a promise to you though. I did make a fucking promise to you though, that if I do this, I'm gonna do this 100%.
100%, man. And I'm glad you're doing it.
And I think I've kept my
proud
word.
of you.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get me to 100K. But that's about it, man. Go subscribe to Chris Ramsey. Go Ian over there.
Go subscribe to
go subscribe to Ian on Instagram.
I have one sub.
So go follow Ian on Instagram.
I have no videos and one sub.
But like, comment, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Please, you know, comment. Tell me what you think about what we're talking about, because me and Chris talk a lot. We talk a lot about what we're doing, what we're working on, what's next, where we're going from here. And do you have somebody like that in your life? You should. You know, tell me if you have somebody, and I don't know, just tell me what you think about this, because this means a lot to me. This changed my life a lot. People like Chris and even Tony Chang, who's sleeping over here.
Get a shot, Tom.
Get a shot.
They're dogs.
It's all dogs.
It's all dogs, man.
But yeah, you know, I'm lucky to have some great people in my life. I hope you have great people in your life. I'm appreciative of every single one of you who subscribe to my channel and who comment and like, and even if you don't like the video, I appreciate you. But let's get out of here. Let's go have some fun. We're gonna break out, meet up with some other people, and drink. Not drink. We're gonna talk about happy things.
We're gonna get drunk.
We're gonna get drunk.
Peace, guys.
Peace out, yo.